Pre-algebra lesson 105, evaluating powers of negative bases. So this is something I'm not sure if I've shown this class already, but it's what happens whenever we have exponents to base numbers that are positive or negative, right? And the key thing here is whether or not it has parentheses on it. So let's do some quick examples. Let's say I have negative 4 squared and parentheses negative 4 squared. So what happens here, the difference between these two numbers is whether or not there's parentheses making the negative 4 all one number, okay? So if there's no parentheses around the negative 4, what I do first before I put the negative on the answer is I have to do the exponent first, okay? It's kind of like PEMDAS, because this is kind of saying negative 4 is almost like saying negative times 4 to the power of 2. And exponents have to come before multiplication. So before I multiply by that negative, I'm going to do the exponent of 2. Or if there's no parentheses, you could always just put your finger over it and say, oh, that's 4 squared. So then I have 16. When I remove my finger, I now put the negative back on it. So that answer is going to be negative 16. Now, what happens if I have negative 4 squared? Well, if you remember from our lesson on multiplication rule for exponents, this is like rewriting negative 4 times negative 4. In that case, negative 4 times negative 4, the negative times negative makes it positive 16, okay? Whereas up here, this one is like writing, this one would look like this. It would be negative 4 times 4, okay? So that's what this one is actually saying, and this one is actually saying this. So if there's a negative inside the parentheses, the negative gets multiplied. So if there's an even number of negatives, it becomes a positive number. If there's an odd number of negatives, it becomes a negative answer. Right? So that's how we deal with those. Now let's talk about how we do this with evaluation problems. So our evaluation problems will look something like this. They'll tell me that, we'll say, a squared b minus b. I need to evaluate this if I start dropping things. No, just kidding. If a is equal to negative 2 and b is equal to negative 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my favorite thing in algebra, which is I'm going to rewrite the numbers. And remember, whenever we're doing evaluations, we have to plug these numbers in inside of parentheses, right? So instead of writing a, I'm going to write parentheses negative 2. Then I copy the exponent, right? So it's a squared. Now I can rewrite the number b, right? The number b is going to be parentheses negative 3, okay? Now I can copy the minus sign, right? So I bring the minus sign down, and then I have to write b again. So then I put parentheses negative 3. Now once I've successfully rewritten the problem, I can start solving using my rules of PEMDAS and order of operations. So up here, first I see negative 2 squared. The negative is inside the parentheses, so this becomes negative 2 times negative 2, which gives me positive 4. Now I've got positive 4 times negative 3, and then, ooh, these both become plus positive, plus 3. Next I have to do 4 times negative 3. 4 times negative 3 gives me negative 12. And then negative 12 plus positive 3 gives me negative 9. And my final answer is negative 9. All right. So again, if we plug these numbers inside of parentheses properly, we will never make any mistakes, and then we'll just need to combine our rules of negative exponent bases with these problems. Okay, so make sure you always plug in your numbers inside of parentheses, and then anything that's not a gets added in, anything that's not b, like the minus sign, gets added in. All right. That's it for this lesson. If you guys have any questions, let me know on the website, and I will see you in class.